Well, hello there, folks. I do hope you're all well. Day 12, I think it is now, of my Tenerife jaunt. I think it's 12, it may be 11. I'd have to check. We'll go with 12. I think it is 12. Yeah, not a lot of news to go through with you today, folks. I'm trying to sort of sound bubbly and effervescent. I don't feel it. I feel absolutely lousy. Not been great for a couple of days, but I'm trying to hide it. And it was a late night last night. It was an 2:30. An hour I stayed out till then, I don't know. Because I was dying on my feet from about 10:30. I was in a bad way. Anyway, I'm still recording the message, but I've not gone through the news channels I've been finding over here, so I've got very little to report today. I'll just tell you quickly about yesterday and what we got up to, and then I'll do a very little bit on the news story of the day, which is the ongoing RUSSEL Brand scandal, and then I'm going to do a separate piece on Brand in a minute or two's time, which I hope his supporters find, because I'm getting a bit of grief off his supporters on the channel, which isn't a problem. I'm thick-skinned, I can take it, no problem at all. But I've got a question for all his supporters, and I'm wondering how they're going to answer it. What answer they're going to give me. Anyway, let's go with Brand first. Yeah, Brand. I know YouTube have dropped him over the last 24 hours, or they've not dropped him as such. They're not putting ads on his channel anymore, so there's no monetization. He can't earn money. I'm not surprised. I would have expected it to have happened. The charges are racking up by the day against him. As I say, not surprised. He does have other platforms, but they're not as lucrative, so it's obviously going to hurt him in the pocket. And a friend of mine mentioned to me earlier today that Paul Gambaccini has spoken out and had something to say about the subject. Now, I thought Gambo may have been for him, being as how there was a witch hunt against Gambo. I was hoping that wasn't the case, because I like Paul Gambaccini, I really do. I always have done. As I've said in the past, I'm not keen on Russell Brand, and never have been. Regardless of what's come out since Saturday, I've never liked him anyway. Gambo I've always liked. I think of all the major radio, TV, film stars over the last 10 or 15 years that have been tainted and we've had a witch hunt against, and either the radio channels or TV channels have gone for in a big way, the one that I feel was treated most abysmally was Gambo. I thought he was treated shockingly by the media, but more importantly by BBC. I like Gambo, I really do. Anyway, I've looked into it since a friend of mine brought this up, and I believe what Gambo was said is, he said the woman that was the controller at the time on Radio 2, who brought Brand into the radio station, treated him as a little pet, a teacher's pet. She loved him, he could do no wrong. For all on an almost weekly basis he was doing wrong and causing havoc, she turned a blind eye to everything because she really thought the world of him. Gambo said at the time that he warned her before she took Brand on, he could end up proving something of a nightmare, and obviously he did with the old Sasha Gate tapes. And I always thought it was one phone call. 3 phone calls that was. 3 phone calls to old doddery Andrew Sachs, him and old Jonathan Ross, letting Sachs know what they'd done with his granddaughter. Absolutely shocking. Now, I also see that 4 or 5 well-known people have come out in support of Brand. One being, is it Andrew Tate? You'd want him batting for you, wouldn't you? Oh, yeah, you'd want him batting for you. I do note, though, who's conspicuous by his absence? Old Jonathan Ross, eh? His old buddy there. They did all this together with Sachs, didn't they? Ross has come nowhere near him. Ross has had nothing to say in his defence. Very strange, that one, isn't it? Very, very strange. Anyway, not much more to say in Old Brand. As I say, I've got something separate that I'm going to do after this. We'll go to what happened yesterday in Tenerife, or Tenerife as us normal people would call it, and then that might be it for today. I might do a late message later if I feel any better, and if I can find anything newsworthy. What did I get up to yesterday? Went out for a meal yesterday evening to a brand new restaurant we've been looking at. I wish we hadn't been looking at it. I came away saying it wasn't that great behind. I've thought about it overnight. It was crap. I don't know why I had to think about it. I should have said it was crap at the time. It was crap. The worst meal I've had whilst I've been here. Then we went to Princess Di's at Las Americas. We've seen the very, very, very funny Billy Porter. Brilliant. As per usual, he was great. And then we've seen old Keith George doing his Boy George experience. Thoughts on them both, other than they were both brilliant? Well, Billy Porter was fantastic. Billy, by the way, if you see this video I mentioned to you, there might be a video about you today. This isn't the one you want to look at. You want to look at, just put in the titles at the top, Billy Porter, and it'll let you know the other ones I've done on Billy Porter. It's a bit misleading because the thumbnail, Billy, I'm talking to you now, Billy, the thumbnail shows that another Billy Porter. It's not you. It's your impersonator, and he must be the world's worst impersonator. You're Scottish. He's American. You're white. Well, you're pink really, because you've been brought up in Scotland with awful weather there. You're pink, and you wear pink, and he's black. What kind of impersonator is that? Thousands of miles apart and different skin colour. Now, admittedly, he is gay, just like yourself, so he's got that part right. But other than that, I don't know what he's trying to do impersonating you. Anyway, I am sorry, I told you, well, I didn't mean to do that. I've been trying to hold that in. As I say, Billy, if you get a chance to see it, that one was about 3 months ago. Have a look at it. I think you might like it. And as I said to you last night, you might like the one, what did I call it? Eddie Izzard Dies. He's not dead, by the way, just in case you didn't. Eddie Izzard Dies. I think you'll like that, Billy. I think you'll find that funny. Maybe you won't. I don't know. So, yeah, so we've seen Billy Porter. Billy was great. And then we've seen Keith George. Absolutely fantastic as well. All I will say about Keith is, sometimes in his show, he does a little chat in between every song, because he lets you know where he was when he first heard Boy George, when he bought his first record, how Boy George did this and Boy George did that. He tells you loads about Boy George's life, because he knows so much about him, and it's really, really interesting. But I think because it was such a late show last night, I don't think he came on till about 12:15. I think he did about 12:15 till about 1:05. He didn't go through all that, and it was a shame, but still a brilliant show. Anyway, thank you, Billy. Thank you, Keith. I enjoyed the night. For all I felt lousy, I enjoyed the night. That's it from me now. As I say, if you want to catch the old Russell Brand one after this, it's only going to be 60, 90 seconds. Feel free.